Well, we live in a time of rapid, radical technological transformation. In fact, just look at this venue. And I know that many of you will be on the live cast, so we're live streaming from Google's YouTube space in Los Angeles. And a venue like this didn't exist a year ago. This is a radically different type of production facility, of broadcast facility, and it was built specifically for the new generation of digital content creators. And in fact, Lenovo is thrilled to be here, and we're thrilled to partner with YouTube's Next Lab on a fund that will support these artists and help them transform entertainment. In fact, we thought this was a perfect venue for Lenovo today because as a company, we're also rapidly, radically transforming. In the last 6 months, we've become the #1 PC company in the world. We sold more PCs than anybody else. At the same time, in that same period of time, we actually sold more smartphones and tablets than we did PCs. So, thank you. So this transformation in our business mirrors the change in the way people use technology, mobility, connectivity, instantaneous interaction. These are essential, and this is what our audience expects. And that's why today we're not filtering our announcement through the traditional channels. We're streaming live to our audiences around the world, in Milano, in Tokyo, in Beijing, in Brazil, so it will be everywhere. And yet, surprisingly, with so much transformation and so much change in our business, there's one device that has changed very little, if at all, for years. In fact, the tablet is the same physical format today as it was when it was first introduced. There are dozens of makers, countless models, but still it's one basic idea. The shape hasn't changed until now. So to introduce this type of change in this sea of sameness, it helps to have a company like Lenovo. We're a company that's been built differently with ideas and with people from around the world. But even more importantly, to launch such a change, it helps to have someone who is passionate about innovation, someone who's ready to challenge the status quo, someone who understands technology, embraces new ideas fearlessly, and is personally committed to coming up with a better way of doing things. Well, we found this person, and in fact, we sort of hired him. Now, we think of him as our newest employee, and we think of him as a Lenovo product engineer. You, of course, may know him from a slightly different context. But let me introduce him by showing you how he spent his first day on the job at Lenovo.
I have officially joined the Lenovo team as an actual product engineer. First day, a little nervous.
Congratulations and welcome to the Lenovo New Hire Orientation. Today we're going to cover a number of topics.
Yeah, okay. So I was a minute late.
What are you doing here?
Oh, sorry. Product engineer.
Oh, designer.
Nice.
Does anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Yes. I'm curious, are we going ubiquitously with AC Wi-Fi? Because I have concerns about how it handles small cell and how it interacts with 3GPP. What color are the booties in the motherboard clean room? Can anyone go in the motherboard clean room? Or is there like restrictive access? Does this pass get me everywhere?
Okay then, let's move on to the office tour, shall we? Two of your fellow product engineers.
So you're a product engineer here?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
I have a question.
Shoot.
What sort of processing platform should we go with in our next-gen tablet?
Well, clearly it's a tablet, so we'd want to use a low-power, high-performance microarchitecture SoC to balance out the power, the features, and the battery life. Oh, and clearly we'd want to use one of the latest quad-core Cortex A7 CPU subsystems. But we got to catch up. It was nice to meet you guys. You want to question my tech savvy? It's great for one-handed navigation, and tilt mode is just, it's amazing for gaming.
And stand mode is perfect for watching movies on the couch at night with me.
Not in my house. Not in his house. I got business cards. Business card. I'm a doer. One who does. One who does. Doesn't not do. Done.
I said, welcome to Lenovo.
Yeah. Howdy. Hi. That was kind of the first day, sort of close to. I feel like Britney Spears with this microphone, but I'm not going to dance, even though I've got the moves. First of all, thank you for opening up your house to us today here at YouTube. Some people know me as an actor or as a producer, or maybe a few other people know me as a philanthropist or the guy that uses social media and has 1 million followers on Twitter, or there's another group of people that maybe know me as a tech investor. I have a few people that know me as a family member and a friend. And now I hope to meet a lot of people that will know me as a Lenovo product engineer. So I'm just going to put on my employee ID card and wear it proudly. But there's one thing that nobody knows me as. Nobody knows me as someone who plays it safe. I fail a lot. I fail all the time. I fall down flat on my face and I get back up. But I don't play it safe. I like to take risks. I like to do things that somebody in the world is going to go, what was he thinking? And maybe if I succeed, somebody in the world will look and go, why didn't I think of that? But you'll never have anyone say, why didn't I think of that? If you don't do something that at first people go, what was he thinking? And so for me, this is a risk. I'm risking because I like to compete. I like to win. I like to solve problems. And I think that there are problems out there that can be solved with these types of devices that haven't been solved yet. Well, when it comes to a risk, you have to ask the question, well, why now? And being a product engineer at Lenovo, the other question is, why Lenovo? Well, to understand why now and why Lenovo, I think I'd like to share a little bit about my perspective on PCs and the evolution of personal computers. I remember my first personal computer that I had in my family. And I was a kid, and we got this box that sat in a room, and we played with it at first for a couple weeks, and then it sort of sat there. And the computer was probably capable of doing a lot more than what we even knew to do with it. But we played our little games, and maybe for school we wrote a paper on a word processor. But this thing was capable of doing a lot more. But the one thing that it wasn't connected. And I had a much closer personal identity to my first beeper that I got when I was like 15 in high school than I did to that box that was sitting in my house, because it was personal to me. It was authentic to me. And when somebody paged me 9009 and I turned it upside down and it spelled boob, I laughed and I thought that was really awesome. But these things are getting increasingly more intimate in our lives. These devices over the years, from the SkyTel pagers to everything, and now these smartphones, they're getting more and more personal to our lives. And they're becoming more personal to our everyday activities. And those utilities that those machines could perform that were just a one-person utility are becoming global utilities. And these devices are not just becoming the devices that we create on. They're the devices that we create on, the devices that we share on, the devices that become the window to our world, the window to learn, and the window to connect. And businesses, where it used to be just virtual businesses, were being disrupted by software technology. And you had music that was being disrupted, and printing companies, new movies, videos, things that were easy to virtualize. And those were the first things to come into our pocket. Now, full-blown services are coming into our pocket. As an investor in software technologies, I come across a different company every single day that is actually tearing down an old framework of how a company worked and rethinking services. Whether it's an Uber cab that I can dial with one button, or whether it's dry cleaning that I can hit with another button, or whether it's e-commerce, or whether it's trade, or whether it's housing, or whether it's vacation rentals on Airbnb, whatever it might be, all of these services are in our pocket. They're in our everyday life. They're in our hands right now. And personal computers are becoming about personal behavior. And they're disrupting every single mode of our life. Mark Andreessen, who is the founder of Netscape, says that software is actually eating the world, and every industry is going to be taken over by a software company. And I believe that to be true. So what better way to affect the future? By helping to build the future, by helping to build the devices that actually connect us to the world. And that's my view on personal computers. And so the risk is to be taken now, because this is happening in the world now. The next question is, why Lenovo? Well, Lenovo's number one in the world in PCs. They're the number one PC company in the world, and they sell more mobile devices than personal computers. And I don't think a lot of people know that. I certainly didn't. But I found out, and I reached out to them, and what I realized was that they're a lot more than just a maker of hardware devices. They have a global understanding of culture. And I think that that's really, really powerful and really, really important. Because understanding the world in a globally connected world is absolutely vital. But they understand more than that. They understand that they have to take risks and lead. And I see a lot of tablet creators and mobile device creators and PC creators that look out in the market and they go, well, that's the best thing, and that thing's selling the best. Can we make it at a lower price point and deliver it to our consumers? Well, I think that screws the consumer. Because great, you got it at a lower price point, but they didn't innovate. And I like to be on a team with people that want to innovate. People that want to look at this and go, wait, how can we do it differently and better and actually lead the way and not just be a Me Too product? And there's another culture at Lenovo that I think is really important. They do what they say and they own what they do. And that's a value that I believe in. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And even if you make a mistake, be responsible for the mistake that you made and make it better. That's a value that's true to me, and that looks like a good partnership to me. Lenovo and I are moving into these mobile devices in a socially connected world, and Lenovo has showed me that they are courageous enough to take the chances and not just be a Me Too company. And the evidence of that is actually in this Lenovo Yoga tablet. I believe that.
Introducing the Lenovo Yoga tablet, a better way is here.
So let's talk a little bit about this beast. It's not a knockoff. When you look at it from the outside, you go, well, that's not a knockoff. This doesn't look like anything else on the market. It actually understands the consumer. It actually thinks about how the consumer lives. Have you ever laid in bed with your tablet and been reading something and fallen asleep and had that thing fall on your face? It's like I almost broke my nose a couple times with my silly thing. This thing actually understands that when you lay in bed and you're going to hold something, you want to hold it in a way that you don't break your nose by the time you wake up in the morning. Have you ever laid in bed and been on one of these things and have your arms fall asleep while you're holding it? My arms literally fall asleep, and I'm always kind of doing this thing to try to get it to like understand that I don't want my arms to fall asleep. This thing stands up. So if you're laying in bed and you want to read something, you can lay it on yourself, or you can put it up here and you can use it as a presentation. Or you can actually lay it down into a tilt mode if you need to type. Because these aren't just devices that we read on, these are devices that we create on. And we need to have interfaces that actually understand that we want to create an input into the device. It's also handy because sitting here and craning against a flat surface over the top of your thing to actually get the refraction off of the screen so you can read it is actually really difficult. So why not have it in a tilt mode that actually takes that refraction away, where I'm standing here and I could look at this and actually use this as I was giving my presentation if I didn't have it memorized. It's got an ergonomic handle that you can hold on to that actually feels really good. It feels like it actually knows you want to hold it. So that when you are creating, it's not this slippery surface that you're having to sort of two-hand and double out and figure out how to hold it on. There's a handle on it. And it makes sense. It actually thinks about people in that way. It has an Android 4.2 operating system, which is awesome because Lenovo isn't sitting here going, the software that we create is the software that needs to be the software that everybody uses because that's the software that's going to be the best software. Because that's not how great software gets created. Great software gets created by people who specialize in a specific thing and they go out and they become the best in the world in it. And the Android 4.2 operating system actually respects that. It's got a 5-megapixel camera. Taking photos is an essential part of our lives. It's a part of our sharing. It's the way we connect. And sometimes I wonder if language is going to exist in the future when we can just send each other photos that says 1,000 words in a picture. But there's one other thing that it's got that's pretty awesome. It's got 18 hours of battery life. Yes. Thank you. Because you feel about it the way I feel about it. I've become a slave to my power outlet and a slave to plugging these things in. It's actually driving me insane. I have all the device and I'm plugging in everything and I plug this thing and I plug that thing and then I've got that extra additional charger that I have to plug in to plug my thing in later because halfway through the day it's going to go dead. It actually understands human behavior. Oh, but it's better than that. We all carry around these bricks. If we're a heavy user, we carry around bricks with extra power. Well, this is a micro USB and that actually can connect to your phone, and you can charge your phone from your tablet. So instead of carrying around a silly, useless brick that isn't a utility, you can't use it at all except for power, you can actually deliver power to your other devices. That's understanding a consumer. Guys, this thing will get you through your day. This battery gets you through your day. I think we can show this battery getting us through our day. I'm almost positive that we can show.
Hey Ashton.
Yo.
I see you got the prototype. We got aluminum alloy casing. We've beefed up the hinge on the stand here, and check this out. 18 hours of battery life.
18 hours, one charge?
Yup, 18 hours. Let's see what you got.
Okay.
Hey Ashton, you have a phone call.
I'm busy going to space. Hold mode, tilt mode, and stand mode. That should be.
How do you see these trends applying to the tech industry?
So there's two things I want you to focus on. One would be retention, and the other one is growth. Now, if you're viral syndication... The minute we think we're thinking outside the box, we realize that we're just living in a bigger box.
So Ashton, how'd it go? Ashton? You there? Hey!
I think that's pretty exciting. Lenovo builds devices for those who do. I think that the industry has been building devices that people can easily understand. And I think they've been striving to build devices that people can easily understand. And what I'd like to do is work with Lenovo to build devices that understand people. You know, I don't just need utilities. I'm not a one-dimensional person. I act, I produce, I share, I create, I learn, I consume, I do. And now that I'm a part of the Lenovo team, we're going to do a lot more to understand you, to understand your needs, your struggles, and to understand what you do. Thank you, and I am beyond excited to get going on this thing.